So guys, it's David here and I hope you guys are doing well and like always are doing better than yesterday. So as I was reading today, I realized something pretty important, and that is people don't change, or for the reason people don't change is that whenever they do, it challenges their thought. And when you start to become conscious and aware of your actions, you start to realize, or perhaps you can't help yourselves from repenting or thinking about the past, thinking about all the opportunity and chances in your life where you could have made the right choice to start your journey of improvement earlier. And I do believe it is one of this reason that stops people from change. Because when they become conscious, they realize that, man, it's perhaps too late because I had all this time to change and now it just feels like I have thrown my life away. And sometimes that gives a lot of people anxiety. They feel like, what's the point? Like, there's literally no point anymore. I have been living my life like this for my whole entire life. And now just thinking about everything that I could have done, all the choices I could make differently, it just overburdens the person's mind. And I have to say, sometimes when I make a mistake, I can't help myself from looking back in the past too. I would think about, for example, recently I have crashed my diet. I was on a good mini cut. I was halfway through the diet, and for whatever reason, perhaps just because I want to eat a lot of food, I decided to break my diet. And because of so, I went on a 4-day binge, skipped one gym session because I was legit too bloated to go. And now, being back on track, I felt totally horrible. Because now looking back, I could have just not ate, right? I could have just not ate and stick through the mini cut and lose a bunch of weight and just start building lean muscle once again. But I didn't, right? I binged, I went off course, and now it is natural, which is something you guys have to understand, that you will start to think at your past. Because when you become conscious and when you become aware in the moment, it is inevitable that you're going to start look back at your past, at all the things that could have been done differently. But the thing is, you are only going to put yourself in agony if you are looking back at all the past possibilities. I was like that. I was this chronicle person trying to think back at my past, like Doctor Strange, trying to think about all the endless possibility that I could have made differently. But the thing is, yes, there could have been a better way to do things, but we never knew what was the best way then. And even though we may think what is the best way now, it does not mean in the future we would think that it is a smart move anymore. We will constantly evolve as we understand more about our life situation and the things around us. So we have to just think that in the moment, perhaps we made the decision based on what we feel like it was right. And sometimes our feelings may have been influenced by different things. Perhaps you made a wrong choice because you were hungry. Perhaps you were working long hours and you didn't have the chance to drink or eat any food, and you came back home and you started to binge. Because naturally, to you, at that moment, it may be the normal thing for you to do. It may be the most logical sound thing for you to do, to have some food in your mouth. Of course, now you're conscious, now you're aware, you may realize that maybe I should have ate, but perhaps I should have something in place so I don't go overboard. Now, the thing is, and perhaps the most important thing we have to understand, is that the mistakes or decisions we made in the past is already done, right? It is set in stone, and that part of our snapshot in our history cannot be changed, right? That is our past. And looking back at it won't make any difference. It will only remind you of those similar emotions that got you in that place before. And you don't want to be reminded of that feeling, because in the moment, you have to focus on a better feeling. You have to feel positive in a way that you have cultivate a feeling of belief that you can change. Because in the moment when you decide to make the decision to start changing your life for the better, what is so fundamentally important and should be always something you should prioritize is to cultivate this feeling of courage, to have belief in oneself that you can do it. Because if you allow any sort of negative emotion come back into the present, especially when you are on this fine line of changing your actions and your habitual routines, if by any means you allow your past emotions to cloud your judgment, then the next thing you may do, and potentially you will do, is to go back and live the life you always knew to live. Because that's how it has been going for me every single time that I have been on the verge of change. Is that if I don't have something set in place, if I don't have a plan set in place, if my internal self is not bulletproof, by means that if I'm not feeling totally confident, and if I have belief in myself to do the right thing, then most cases I'll just go back and just say, fuck it. I'm already here. I'm a loser. I'm losing in life. I'm already binging for a few days. So what difference does it make to just go a little bit longer? And that is exactly the internal self-talk you do not want to have. But sometimes that is exactly what you will have if you look back into your past and repent, regret, and think that you could have made a better choice otherwise. The truth is, you can. And perhaps the choice of change right now may not even be the most wisest choice for you to make in this moment. But just remember, we will always be cringe in our past for the things we have done and the things we have not done. And that is unchangeable. But if you keep on bringing those memories back to the present, then you're going to make your life unbearable. So, with that being said, focus on today is the most important lesson of today's video. And just understand that everything will be fine. Everything will be fine if you just let go of all those trifling things you have to worry about. Because what matters now, what is truly important, is for you to just take one step forward and just become better than yesterday. That means just one little thing will compound into a life-changing lifestyle. That being said, I hope you guys had learned something from this. But if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, good night.